Disney Talk Tuesday. My name is Daniela. Here's Miguel, and we have some special guests with us. Mouse Talk has agreed to come on the stream with us tonight to kick off our movie comparison review month. So we're really excited for this. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us. Look, you can tell we've been married for a while. Look how close Dee and Miguel are. We're like, we have Grand Canyon between the two.
That's hilarious.
Thank you for having us.
We're sharing headphones.
Yeah, we have to. If not, we would give each other some space.
Thank you for having us.
It's not love, it's headphones.
All right, well, tonight, you guys, we're going to do Finding Nemo versus Finding Dory. So I'm pretty excited about this one. This was a recommendation from Stacy Rogers, which I finally did. So thank you, Stacy, for the recommendation. It was fun because last week I got to watch both movies with Alex, of course, and he gave his review on the movies, which we have our latest video on that. So if you want to check that out, check it out. But it's interesting to hear what his perspective was on it. So I will give you some information on that as we vote throughout the night. Yeah, so do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
So the only other thing I want to announce is that, once again, Cargo 619 is our August promotion channel. Give Cargo some love. We're so excited to partner with her this month. She's been such an awesome support to the community and to us as friends, to our family. So give her some love, and I'm so excited to see what her prizes are because she is the crafting queen. So
Yeah, they're going to be awesome, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't wait.
Sure.
Do not put her words up on your screen.
Yes, very true.
Please, don't do that.
That would not be good. Oh, it's hilarious. And then one last announcement. Tomorrow night, check out This and That Wednesday, 9:35 on Brandy and Dave's channel. If you haven't checked that stream out, I'm sure you will not regret it.
Yeah.
And just a quick update, right? We're at 872 subs, so we're getting close to that 900. So yeah, so if you think of it, certainly share out the stream or the channel. We'd love to get to that 900 as soon as possible. So.
Yes. Thank you, Miguel, for that. And I just want to go ahead and say hi to the people in the chat. Thank you guys so much for being here. Mike Wheeler was the first one here. He is such an awesome supporter of the community. Thanks for being here, Mike. We really appreciate you. Want to go ahead and say hi to the rest?
Yeah, so we've got Zachary Pollock in the chat. So welcome. And Kay Atwood. Russ Stapleton, welcome.
Right.
Steve's World, hey. Let's see, who else? Pam's Fam, hello and welcome. Stacy Rogers
All right.
is in the chat.
Excellent.
Let's see.
Gallantly Streaming.
Alan Roberts, Gallantly Streaming,
AKA.
welcome.
Rachel,
welcome. Laser Cat, good to see you.
Holly made it.
Holly is in the chat. Good to see Holly. Karen
And
Cook.
Karen Cook.
Phantasmic Chronicles.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. We so appreciate it. So just a recap for those who don't remember our movie comparison series, what we do during this time is we compare both movies based on 5 categories of 5 random choice. The 5 categories are storyline and theme, and we kind of discuss which one has the more original storyline or better message overall. The second is songs, which one has the catchier lyrics or is just more superb musically. Our next category is animation and awards, which one has the more beautiful colors and complex and skill level when it comes to the artistry of the movie. And we talk about the awards that they have. Then we talk about the villains, which is the more better developed villain and has the better backstory or is just the more evil one. And then the last category that we'll talk for the night is supporting characters. What kind of depth do they add to the film? What kind of engagement do they have? Can the movie be as great as it is without them or not? So, and character development. So, really excited to get into this with you guys. Welcome in, Just Jennifer. Good to see you here. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first category, storyline and themes. So what do you guys think about Finding Nemo versus Finding Dory regarding storyline?
We'll let our guests go first.
Y'all go first.
You want ladies first? Well, you know what? I'll say this about both of these movies. Storyline for both of them are good. I actually think both of them have very compelling storylines. Yeah. You know, as much as I love the storyline for Finding Nemo,
yeah,
the storyline for Finding Dory is very compelling. It does keep you interested throughout the entire film. I like that about it. Obviously, I'm always partial to the first one. I really enjoyed the first one a lot. Being a dad with a son, I have that connection a little bit more there. But I really enjoyed the storyline that they had of Dory with her parents finding them again, where she's from, and finding out about that and remembering. I like that storyline. This is a hard one for me. It really is. I tend to lean towards obviously finding Nemo,
right?
But it's tough. What about you?
No, I agree, and I tend to always lean toward the original one too. Just so many characters in that first movie, which I know we'll get into separately, that just attract me to that movie, I think, a little more. I mean, there's some really cute characters in Dory as well, and I love Dory. She's one of my favorite characters for sure. But that's kind of my thought process, very much like Walt's.
Yeah, the storyline is just. I was surprised at how much I stayed interested in Finding Dory. I kind of went into it thinking, here we go, another sequel. It may not be that good. But it was actually done really, really well, storyline-wise. So I would lean towards Nemo on this one, but I've really enjoyed the story that they told for Dory. And usually I'm not into, secondary characters because I guess she's kind of a sidekick to an extent. But this one was done well.
She just seems like a sidekick, though. She's just, she's fantastic.
Is this like the great debate? Are we defending these movies or just doing comparisons on both? Welcome in Disney Fanatic. We are comparing the movies to each other, and we are going to vote which one is the better movie throughout the night.
You guys will get to vote. We vote on 5 different categories, Disney Fanatic, so you'll get to vote. So it is not like the great debate. It's a little bit of a different format. So.
I would have to agree. Okay.
Yeah, I would say for me, and like you guys, I think the original almost has a leg up unless a sequel is just outstanding, right? It's almost like tie goes to the original, and I think, like Walt said, as a dad, as an overprotective dad, I kind of connect with Finding Nemo, and so I don't know. I appreciated that storyline a lot. And the fact that it's not just the father-son, but you also have Marlin having to overcome his own fears in order to be a good dad. Like he thought he could keep them safe as long as he just had control of everything, but he had to kind of let that go in order for him to be the father that he wanted to be. So,
and I think you're right, and it makes it's a comparison that as a parent you can relate to, because as you'll find out as your children get older, and we've already found out the hard way, is you do have to at some point let go and let them explore their own world and the perils that are out there that they have to learn to be able to do it on their own, that you can't always hold their hand. And so it is something that as a parent, you can connect with on that first movie. But I can see the connection and understanding in the other movie too. As maybe an orphan who doesn't know their parents or know of their parents, wanting to find your parents and know who they are and what happened to them. I can see that connection as well. So I think both movies can be relatable.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I would say, like, Finding Dory to me, although I agree with all of you regarding Nemo, but Finding Dory, I thought it was such a unique twist on the idea of trying to go find your parents, as opposed to like this typical, the love story at Disney or the parent-child relationship that Disney has. I liked the other way around, like child looking for the parent. And then it was just so heartwarming throughout the movie, like as we get towards the end, that she finally finds her way by looking at the seashells. You know, that was something that was taught when she was little. Like, there was just little things that tied the whole movie so nicely, and I really appreciated just the way that they delivered it, and also the creativity behind a lot of the scenes, like when Hank and Dory were going back to the ocean exhibit. Like, they're traveling in a baby stroller and she's in a sippy cup. Like I just love the creativity behind it, you know? Like, it's very, very good in that regard. But overall message, I think I did enjoy Finding Nemo more, because you can see the character development and growth in both Nemo and Marlin. And I just enjoy that parent relationship more. Welcome in D Hazel, Zippity Doodad, and Christy's Corner. Thanks for being here, you guys.
All right.
Let's take a vote.
Let's go ahead and take the vote on the first category. So those of you in the chat, we're talking just storyline right now. So it's not which movie you prefer, but just which storyline you think is best. So go ahead and put your vote in the chat, Finding Dory or Finding Nemo.
And we will count it starting after the line I just put in the chat. All right, so we have Karen Cook going for Dory.
Ooh, Karen, you go, girl.
I heard that in the Hercules. What are those ladies called?
Oh, the muses.
Yes, I heard that in that voice. Okay, what
Pam Span.
Quite a few Dorys.
I'm sorry.
No, Zippity Doodad's next, right?
Okay, yeah.
Zippity Doodad for Dory.
Russ
for
Stapleton.
Dory. Pam Spam for Dory.
Wow.
Wow, I
Kay.
am.
Kay Atwood.
Kay Atwood going with Nemo.
Welcome in, Road Trip Dave.
Road Trip Dave.
Road Trip Dave. Welcome back.
Holly Ever After going with Nemo. D Hazel going with
Nemo's
Nemo.
making a comeback. All right.
Stacy Rogers going to Dory. 5-4. Dory is winning. Rachel going with Dory. Shall we all join the chat? Okay, so what's everyone's final decision here on the stream?
You're asking us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Melissa, you could go first.
I say Nemo.
Nemo. 1 point for Nemo.
Nemo.
2 points for Nemo. Miguel?
Nemo.
Nemo. And Nemo for me. We are at 8 versus 6. Nemo has the leg up. Laser Cat is going for Nemo.
AJC
Magic TV going for Nemo.
There we go. All right.
Christy's Corner, Mike Wheeler, Jesse, all going for Nemo. Welcome to the
Disney
stream.
fanatic.
Jesse, Steve's World, and Disney Fanatic. Wow, you guys, we all agree with Steve.
Yay! It's gonna be a good old
You know it won't last for long.
Let's eat a Goma too. What the heck?
Photos with famous.
That was great.
All right.
All right, cool. All right, next category is songs. What is happening tonight?
So I'm gonna throw a wrench in this one.
Okay.
The best songs are actually at the live performance at Animal Kingdom. Like, so they're not in the movie. And every time I watch Finding Nemo, I'm like, this movie desperately needs those songs in this movie. So
true.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's not much here when it comes to songs in both movies, so I have to get creative here. I'm going to name some of the catchier things, like when Mr. Ray sings Name the Species song. You know, he sings that in Finding Nemo, but then in Finding Dory, he sings the Migration song. So those are kind of tied. Then you have Dory singing Just Keep Swimming in Finding Nemo, which is super catchy. But then she was taught the Undertow song by her parents at the beginning of the movie in Finding Dory, which isn't as catchy, but at least they had some kind of jingle in there. That's about it. Then you had the scene where all the fish were released from the truck in Finding Dory, and What a Wonderful World comes on. I just love that song. But Finding Nemo has Somewhere Beyond the Sea. Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts here, you guys?
Don't forget Dory's whale song.
The whale song. Can you remind me how that goes?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Road Trip Dave says he's got to do the dishes, but he'll be listening. I appreciate
Awesome.
it. I do that sometimes as well.
Love
So
it.
gotta multitask.
Fish are friends, not food.
Oh, man. This is tough for me because there's no, and this could be, they're different, right? The Pixar movies tend to be a little different, and this might be one criticism of that. They don't end up having a song that like really sticks out. I would, because we have to vote, I would probably go Finding Nemo, because Just Keep Swimming, I think has kind of carried on. Like it's something people connect with, like remember. It's something people make memes about. It's something that just has gotten a little more I don't know, familiarity for people.
Russ says, I laughed out loud when Unforgettable started playing at the beginning of the credits for Finding Dory. Yes, that's true. That was very funny.
That's funny.
Go ahead. Well, read that comment. Oh, it's awesome.
And maybe we'll have to base it on catchy phrases from a instead of
that's
song.
true.
Well, but see,
go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the song in the fish tank, shark bait, ooh ha ha.
Oh yeah.
Camp Wanahaka-Loogie.
Yes.
Yeah. Mount Wanahaka-Loogie. Yep, absolutely. Yep. Well, for me, here's how I see this. When I think of Finding Nemo, when they play the soundtrack, the opening credits song, it's from Finding Nemo. It's very slow. It's very, but you just know. You know that's Finding Nemo. They play that same part of the soundtrack when Nigel comes in and tells Nemo about his dad. His dad's coming to see him. And he tells him the whole story about how his father fights the three sharks. And
such a good scene.
And you hear that music in the background. It's my favorite scene in the entire movie. That's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Because it shows him that his dad loved him enough to do all of this, even though he didn't think he did. He thought he would be too scared to save him, that he would do anything to save his son. And then they play that music. That, to me, I know that song the minute I hear it. I know it. That's Finding Nemo. That's simple. I couldn't tell you. You could play a song that's just no words, just music from Dory, and I wouldn't be able to tell you it's from Dory.
Yeah, probably.
Great point.
But I know that song, just a musical from Nemo. So for me, I'm still going to go Nemo because of that connection. That makes sense. That was long-winded.
No, totally. I totally understand what you mean. That totally makes sense. I appreciate that. Finding Nemo does have a uniqueness to it, and I just love all the songs that it has in it. Though, like I feel like they're catchier. They just did a better job at capturing the audience with some of the songs that they threw throughout. The little phrases, diddlies type songs, but I don't know. What do the people in the chat think? Would you vote Finding Nemo or Finding Dory?
Let's see.
This one's going to be close again. I can feel it.
Can you?
Rachel says Finding Nemo.
Nemo.
Pam's fam going with Nemo. Kay Atwood. D. Hazel. Russ.
This one might not be close at all.
Yeah. Compelling arguments here, y'all.
I thought it was going to be close.
Night, Laser Cat.
Oh, thanks for coming in,
Laser
Cat.
Cat.
Good night.
Thanks for coming in.
Still Finding Nemo for Disney Fanatic. Amy, Mike Wheeler going with Nemo.
Nemo. Wow, yeah, you're right. This isn't close.
I don't think we've had one vote for Dory yet.
No.
Karen.
But yeah, as we were talking about at the Animal Kingdom show, Big Blue World, and even the rendition of Just Keep Swimming that they do in that show, like,
awesome.
It's amazing. Yeah. So.
But we've told everybody, and everybody always gives us this sideways look. We actually enjoy the Nemo show more than Lion King.
We do too.
We do too.
We love the Nemo show.
I actually, and I think we've had this discussion, and you guys didn't agree with me, but I think it's the best live show at Magic Kingdom or at Walt Disney World.
I think so. No, I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Beauty and the Beast,
show
y'all.
too.
I can't.
I love Beauty and the Beast. I think Beauty and the Beast is great, but I think the Nemo production is the best live show.
Yeah.
Because of
Agreed.
the puppetry and
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
Fantastic.
so much.
Yeah.
So creative.
Yep, I agree.
Well done.
and a great break in the hot sun from the hot sun.
AC.
Yep.
So yeah, absolutely.
Did we lose them?
What happened? Oh no. Oh no, we're running the show. Make it stop.
Dee and Miguel, are you still there? Hi, everybody. There they are. Hey! We were ready. We were
What
ready.
happened?
We were going to take over the show for you guys. We were ready to go. We were panicking, actually. We were like,
So it's just a test. I want to see if you guys are ready in case we had to go
how
get
we
the
do?
Fail.
All right.
Oh my gosh. All right. The
So
next,
Nemo took it. Holly Ever After just came in. She said, had to go for a second. What's the question? We just finished the second one, which was music. It went to Finding Nemo. So let's go on to
make
the
it stop. Did y'all say make it stop? Oh
Well,
my
we had
God.
flashbacks of Dole Whip Dad.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Same thing happened when we were on his stream. He got knocked out somehow. We were running his stream.
It must be us. Chaotic energy going on here.
Okay, so the third category of the evening is awards in animation. So I'll give you guys some stats on the awards, and then you can give me your thoughts on animation. So Finding Nemo by far had more overall awards in different areas. They had 49 wins of awards and 62 nominations, where Finding Dory had only 16 wins and 46 nominations. They won like Best Animated Film in like the Empire Awards, which is in the UK. They also won the Kids' Choice Awards, Finding Dory.
Okay.
Kids' Choice Awards, Favorite Animated Movie. So that's just Finding Dory. Finding Nemo won all Kids' Choice Awards as well, but Finding Nemo got an Oscar for Best Animated Film. So Finding Nemo has definitely the awards category, just stats-wise.
But this is also animation.
Also animation.
Okay.
So let's talk animation.
And these movies were 13 years apart?
Yeah,
2003 and 2016?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's fine. Welcome in, Ryder Plays, and welcome in, Jack Santa Claus. Good to see you guys.
Hey, welcome.
I'm glad we were on to welcome them.
So what do you guys think?
Animation was good in both movies.
I don't know. I love them both. I mean, I guess comparing them in my mind, the problem is I wished I had watched Dory again a little more recently. It's been a little bit. But I remember it being very colorful and very, with having the, what is the center called? The aquarium where they had
The Ocean.
I just thought it was really well done, the Institute or whatever it was. And
Yeah.
it really had a lot more like detail. But I just love Nemo, so it's really hard, of course, just the creativeness with them, with the sink, going down the sink and being in the dentist office in the fish tank. And but I just remember, I think it was definitely, you could tell it was more to it with the Dory movie. It was pretty neat. So yeah, there's my great spiel on that one. Like, that was really cool.
And see, I see it. I it's funny she says that because I see it different.
Really? I mean, because it was so advanced beyond its time.
I don't think it was that more advanced to me. I
You know?
didn't see a major difference in the technology of what I saw from Nemo to Dory. I mean, obviously it was better. It was a little bit more crisp. But what we saw the first time in Nemo was something we hadn't really seen before.
Yeah.
Like the scene with the jellyfish, the scene with the
That's true.
the ECD where the turtles go
The
down.
Yeah, the EAC.
The EAC, that was the EC. You know what I mean? But all of that was done really, really well. The coral reef area in the very beginning of the film where they lived, the colors were the colors were really bright and beautiful. I I don't know. I mean, I can. I mean, in the awards, it's not even close. I mean, it won the Academy Award for Best Picture, and I tend to lean towards Nemo. It was something that was, I don't want to say groundbreaking, but it was something we hadn't seen yet, especially in the way of Pixar. So I would say for me, I enjoy Nemo better visually.
Yeah, I agree. I think the jump for Nemo was bigger than the jump 13 years later. But also, and I don't know what you guys think, but it seemed to me like in Finding Dory, everything got lighter. Like there was more details, but it's almost like all the colors got lighter.
Right.
But could that be because in the ocean, you're below the surface?
That's true.
Darker?
That's true. That makes sense. That makes sense. So I think it just, the contrast was odd for me in seeing Finding Nemo, and then the way, but what you're saying, Walt, makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. I do think you notice a little bit of a difference, an improvement as far as quality when you go to see Finding Dory, but I don't know, for some reason the colors just, I don't know, seemed off to me, or seemed I don't know.
In which one?
For Finding Dory.
It seemed off.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. I don't know. So what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and for me, that's the thing too, is for something like that, Dory should be better animation-wise. It's better technology. They've had the years to get more advanced, but then I didn't really see it. It's one thing to watch Snow White and then go watch Moana.
Sure.
You're going to see a big difference in animation, absolutely. But I didn't see that big of a jump, and I think you just touched on it, Miguel. That's why, for me, it wasn't. I didn't feel that. So.
Yeah.
And maybe even because you're talking about the underwater, because you're talking about something like the jellyfish scene, because you're talking about these things, maybe Finding Nemo even lent itself to having more opportunity to display kind of the technology that they had at that point, where maybe Finding Dory lacked some of those opportunities. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm agreeing with you guys on this one. I just wonder if there's some technique-wise, like skill level, just is there something more to the things that happen in Finding Dory? You can't really tell from this side of it, but I wonder if someone that is creating it, can tell how much more crisp it is, but it's not a huge difference. And
yeah, it's what Walt's saying.
Yeah.
You don't see the big jump.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go with Nemo. All right, guys, in the chat.
Kay Atwood says, "OMG, that scene on the opening Nemo, the animation of the water, clownfish, and shadows."
It's true.
Mike Wheeler says, "I've seen an interview with an Imagineer on both projects, and they use the same computer system, so the animations look the same and not different." So,
there you go.
All right. And then Pam
Spam going with Dory for
Dory,
Hank alone.
just for Hank alone.
That's awesome. Well, it sounds like this crew is all going with Nemo.
All right. Russ Stapleton says, "Both are beautifully made. I agree with Walt that the settings are so different. The lighting has to be different because the ocean and a fish tank. Technology is better, but was built on Nemo." Holly Ever After says Nemo. Rachel says Nemo. D. Hazel says Nemo. Kay Atwood says Nemo. Karen Cook says Dory.
Ooh, there we go.
Disney Fanatic says, "I can only vote for Nemo." So, don't touch the butt.
He touched the butt. Such a funny. It's just funny all around.
42.
Wow.
Russ says Nemo. Steve's World says Nemo. So
it looks like Nemo really
looks like
takes
Nemo's
that
gonna
category
take it.
easily. Okay, so I think this next category is going to be a fun one to talk about. Villains in both the movies.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this was hard because there wasn't really like a set.
Right.
Right.
Like
There were multiple villains.
Yeah.
It's very
Different.
Or even just antagonists.
Yeah,
but it's like
Exactly.
antagonists. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So which movie had the better antagonist, I guess is what we can say. Wait, what is this one? This one is tough. I like Dory better, but I have to vote Nemo. Yeah, that was a tough one. So as far as like antagonists that we have in Finding Nemo, obviously like P. Sherman, the dentist who, captured Nemo. Darla, the fish killer. I mean, I think that was really unique in the way that they made that from the fish's perspective, like you don't think of it that way.
Darla definitely heightened the kind of intensity in the moment, right? Because you knew if he ended up with Darla, he was gonna die. So she did, even though she played a very small role, she did like push the intensity of the moment.
And I could still hear like the music that played when she like
When she
walks in,
yeah.
Like the slasher music right now.
It's memorable. It's very memorable.
I can't do a whale song, but I can do.
And then you have the obvious Barracuda at the beginning of the movie that killed the mom and all the other eggs. So
yeah, that was all.
Is Bruce technically an antagonist?
And I was just gonna say Bruce.
Yeah.
I mean, he did go
I think
after
so.
Dory.
I think so.
I mean, he was trying to get him.
Right.
I'm having fish tonight. I mean that. Yeah. There he goes. You gotta call it what it is there.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely.
So Finding Dory antagonists, we have the giant squid that they run into. Nemo and Marlin and Dory run into that giant squid.
We had that in 20,000 Leagues.
What's 20,000 Leagues? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was about to disconnect.
Okay, so the one thing that I did want to point out in this, because I read an article about it and I thought it was really interesting, that they said that the main antagonists in Finding Dory are humans. And so they did this by like humans' carelessness in just their inability to recycle things. So you see Dory getting caught in plastic. It's very subtle, but it's in there. The Volkswagen car being in the scene as well was interesting. Just kind of pointing back to like humans not taking care of things. And then the most obvious one was the kids' touch tank. Like you see it from the kids' perspective. Like we all think, oh, it's so cute, our kids can touch the fish. But then you see it from the fish perspective, and it's like, oh no, like, it is horrifying to them. Like
we recycle.
we plead the fifth.
We recycle when it's convenient.
I think the article hit me. That's why I had to share it.
Well,
yeah, I thought it was interesting.
They probably know it.
Yeah, they probably know.
Yeah, Disney converted me.
Yeah, Disney converted us.
Disney converted us.
They
I was
did.
watching the Circle of Life thing at Disney. It was like,
oh yeah.
Remember the old show they had at Epcot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to recycle.
They guilted us in.
Oh, he pulled. I'm out.
D. Hazel says, and the fact that the intelligent whales are in captivity. Yep, humans are bad.
Cargo is in the house. What is going on, Cargo? Thanks for joining us. Yes, that is the best song ever.
No, don't do it. Stop.
Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you.
Take it off.
Parker, you didn't see that.
20,000 Leagues. That's her problem. She has such good comments. I forget.
Kirk Douglas. James Mason.
No, not you too.
That's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I do too.
OG baseball.
I reminded them at the beginning of the stream.
They totally did. Oh,
That makes
so
that worse.
Why fight us back?
So,
What?
do we want to go ahead and get the vote on that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We can go ahead and. Miguel's trying to go fast here. On
No,
the,
no,
I'm like
I
just sitting and talking for a bit, waiting for the commenters to come. The seagulls, are they
Ham
villains?
spam,
Thank you.
seagulls, are they villains or at least antagonists, making it
Mine,
difficult?
Mine.
mine.
I love that.
And really, there's a sense in which, like from literature, we would say nature, right? Nature's an antagonist in Finding Nemo because it gets in the way. Jellyfish. You have a bunch of random natural things that
Obstacles, yes.
are kind of that are obstacles.
That's interesting. That is the case in Nemo, where in Dory you have more human things that are the obstacles. It's like the opposite. It's very interesting.
Although the old mines at the submarine would be human interaction.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You had the mine,
That is true.
submarine.
Yeah.
That's human obstacle there.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that was what I liked about it, because in Nemo you had a little bit of intertwining of both.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
nature as an obstacle, and yet the human element as well.
Yeah, because of
Yeah.
the dentist and,
Yeah. So it was neat.
That's very true.
Darla.
All right.
Okay, so let's take the votes here.
Okay. Holly Ever After says Nemo because of the Barracuda.
Karen Cook said Nemo.
Isn't that a song by
I would say that I think Darla and especially Bruce are just more memorable. They're more memorable as far as characters we think of when we do that.
Yes, I agree.
Wait, did you just say in Dory you have more Cuban things?
Human. Not Cuban, human.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Russ Stapleton, did you get him?
No,
Nemo.
I have to go again. Okay, so Karen Cook, Nemo. Can you name them for me, actually?
Yeah, so we've got
Karen
Cook Nemo.
Holly
Nemo. Russ Stapleton Nemo.
Mhm.
Rachel Nemo.
Uh-huh.
Pam's Fam Dory.
Okay.
Stacy Rogers Dory.
All right.
Perfectly Cat Nemo, and hi Perfectly
And
Cat.
welcome
I
in,
don't know if
Perfectly
we
Cat.
Saw you before.
Perfectly Cat, I believe, is almost at 300 subscribers. Remind me if I'm
Awesome.
wrong, but we're hoping you get there soon, Perfectly Cat.
And that's it.
Perfectly Cat was the last one?
Yep.
Okay.
And I would say
Just-
Nemo.
You didn't say Kay or Amy.
Yeah, we did. Amy said Nemo.
Okay. Well, Nemo's winning by far more.
Yeah.
I tell you what, for me personally, this was closer than I thought it was going to be, because thinking about it more and more, the human element in Dory was actually a very big antagonist throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit, I agree. I would still pick Nemo, but that one was a little, as I thought about it, it got a little bit harder for me to make that decision, because it's a big obstacle in Dory for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that was the biggest thing, is that we don't have any clear villain. We could look at Bruce or whatever, but really it's just what you were saying, Walt, in both movies. It's more about obstacles in the way of the characters trying to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
And so
There's not that singular bad guy that, more of, like you said, obstacles that they have to overcome to get them to their destination, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, so I think Nemo definitely wins this one as well.
Sure.
Surprising.
She'll forget anyway.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. She's going to forget anyway.
That's awesome.
So D Hazel just subscribed to Kat. Thank you, D Hazel, for supporting Kat. And Kat, I would suggest checking out D Hazel. She posts some really cool videos as well.
She's an awesome
she recently opened up her package for winning Disney trivia. So.
Yes.
Nice.
Multiple times.
I would love to win Disney trivia one time.
Yeah.
You guys are on the record.
Thank you.
Oh, the Aussies
We're
ever.
honored.
Biggest losers for the biggest losers.
Like literal. It's not a good thing.
The last shall be first, y'all.
Here you go.
Well, okay, I'll look at it like that. I'm going to look at it, actually.
Okay, so last category is, I'm gonna have fun with this one, is the supporting characters category. Now
This one's gonna be tough.
it's gonna be tough because Finding Dory has a lot of good characters, new ones. So let's talk about Nemo first, because we all know our supporting characters in Nemo. You know, we got Dory and Marlin, obviously. Mr. Ray. I love Mr. Ray's role in the beginning and at the end of the movie. Obviously, Bruce. Crush and Squirt, like the sea turtles, like that whole just bit in it. I love it. And then of course you have Gil, and all the tank fishes in there, which I can't remember everyone's names,
Right.
y'all. But like, there's that one dude that's like, Bubbles, my bubbles, and Flo.
Yeah.
This is my
Nigel. Don't forget about Nigel.
Oh, Nigel.
Nigel. Yes, exactly. He plays
Get in my mouth if you want to live.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, right.
That's so funny. Yeah.
It's
That
so
was a
true.
great scene. That was great.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So what
Yeah.
about
So those are a few of the Nemo characters. Then we have Finding Dory characters that we have some of our original characters like Marlin and Nemo again. Crush and Mr. Ray make an appearance in Finding Dory, which I think is nice. But then we get to know her parents. You know, Jenny and Charlie are involved. We get to know Destiny, her pipe pal, the whale shark. Bailey, the beluga whale. And then Hank, of course, the octopus. And then who can forget the weird bird, Becky. I think that's her name. I can't remember.
Holly says Dory because Becky and Gerald.
Who's Gerald? I can't remember who Gerald was.
I know, isn't that awful? I can't either. But they
And I just watched this like last week. I have no excuse.
Gerald left an indelible effect on me.
Was that one of the walruses?
I don't remember. I'm sure Holly will tell us. here in
Yeah,
a second.
soon.
So what are you guys thinking as far as the
Oh, okay. Thanks.
that
Kat.
is harder.
supporting characters?
What do you
It
think?
is harder. But I do really like the fish in the fish tank with them. And like just their whole support.
Mm,
Trying to get them out of there and doing all the things that they're doing. And I don't know, I just think that's really cool. You know, trying to get the tank dirty and
yeah.
you know, finding ways to get him out of there so Darla doesn't kill him. I think that's cool.
Yeah, and I love the relationship between Gil and Nemo, you know, where Nemo's like, I can't do it. And he's like, that never stopped me, like having to swamp in. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think if we're talking about supporting characters, Dory has to be one of the, top 10 or 15 supporting characters.
Ever.
Yeah, like because she has such an important role, and is so memorable.
Yeah.
So
So she makes her lose in her own movie.
I think I think that's true. Like
Yeah.
I think I think Finding Dory was a nice movie, but I think she was such a powerful secondary character in Finding Nemo that I'm not sure we have that equivalent in Finding Nemo.
Yeah, I totally see your perspective. What I think that you have in Finding Dory is just altogether quality characters in all these. Like, I think Destiny and Bailey were an excellent addition to the movie series. Just how they've helped Dory throughout the time. But more than that was Hank, the octopus. It was so interesting seeing his character development throughout the film. Like, so many times he was done with her. He was not going to help her anymore. He was done. He wanted to do his own agenda. But throughout the film, he warms up again and again to Dory. And so you do have some powerful character developments going on there as well. It's hard to beat Nemo, but I don't know.
Here's the thing with Nemo is a lot of people might say Dory's not a supporting character, but she is a supporting character because the story is not about Dory. The story is about Nemo and Marlin getting to Nemo, and she supports that story. So, you know, finding Dory, she's the main character. So she's definitely a supporting character, and I think you hit it, Miguel. She's one of the most recognizable supporting characters out there. She's almost a leading character in that respect. She's so vital to the story. She knows where to go. P-42, you know, P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney.
Right.
She knows, and that's the one thing she can't forget. She's so important to the story. So I agree. I mean, it's really hard to beat Nemo. Her character alone, plus all the other characters, really make it hard to beat that one. As much as I like Hank, who I think is really cool, she's one of the best supporting characters in all of Pixar animated film.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why, you know, and again, ironically, like Melissa was saying, it's almost like, so she beats her own movie, but I think she does in the way that there was no equivalent to Dory in Finding Dory. I don't think.
Nope.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and hear from the folks in the chat. I know some have already been chiming in. Holly Ever After had to go, so I hope you have a good evening, Holly. But she said to make sure to mark her vote down for Finding Dory. Perfectly Cat says that's hard. They both have great characters, and I agree. I think that they both have numerous characters that are memorable and that we come to like. I just think Dory kind of surpasses them. Ham's Fam says Dory just for Hank alone.
That's a good. Nothing wrong with Hank.
Yeah. D Hazel says Nemo. My favorite supporting character is Bruce and his chums. So scary and funny at the same time. Perfectly Cat says I wish that Disney would do that more often. Take a secondary character and have their own more. And that's a really interesting point. And I'd be curious what you guys think about that. I think it's risky to take a secondary character and make their own movie. But what do you guys think? Perfectly Cat says she wishes they'd do more of that.
Well, they tried to do it with what, in a way, Buzz Lightyear Star Command was kind of a spin-off. I guess it was different animation, but was that even in theaters or was that just a release?
I think it was just a release.
Right.
That was just but I know, there's not a whole lot that they've done, and in a lot of cases, I don't know how successful it would be.
Yeah, I worry. Like, they were able to pull off, I think, a good movie with Finding Dory, but I worry that when you spin off like that, because some characters are made as kind of, as supporting characters, and they're not originally built to carry a movie or something like that. And I even think about, and I know we feel similarly about Toy Story 4. We weren't big fans of it. Bo Peep, that was always kind of just a supporting character. It gets pushed to kind of center stage. And I'm not sure that worked great, so.
Well, I think these characters are supporting characters for a reason.
Right.
They're developed that way, but they're not developed to be a main character. So making them a main character, I don't know that they have the development for that. I'll give you an example. Imagine Disney saying, okay, we're going to make a movie just about the genie from Aladdin. Okay, sounds cool, but I don't know that it would work. Or, let's just make a movie about Sebastian in Little Mermaid. Great supporting characters, but would they work as a main character? I don't know that it would. Now, there are very few supporting characters that can go on and lead a movie. I think of one television show where a supporting character became a lead character and it worked magnificently, and that's Frasier from Cheers. He was a supporting character, did his own TV show, it was even better. But that's the exception. That's not the rule.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think you would almost have to almost go off. Like as you're talking about Genie, I'm thinking, how could a movie like that even work? And I'd think you'd almost have to like go back, give backstory of like how Genie ended up being locked up in the lamp in the first place. So you'd almost have to like completely transform the storyline to try and give a character more depth than what they have. So all right, so let's go ahead and get the votes in the chat. This is our final category. So which supporting characters do you think are the best? And if you guys could go ahead, if you don't mind, putting them in the chat once more. I was reading your comments, but I wasn't keeping track. So Dee just put a line in the chat. So if you guys can go ahead and put your votes under that line, that would be awesome.
This is completely unrelated, but and I may have missed this conversation already, but have y'all seen Emperor's New Groove?
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you seen its sequel?
It has a sequel.
Apparently not.
I answered that.
Yeah,
No, I didn't know.
Sequel.
I didn't know it.
I'm reading it in the chat. I didn't know either.
Perfectly Cat
until
says,
recently.
I love Emperor's New Groove, and I might be the only one that loves Kronk's New Groove. I've never seen Emperor's New Groove. So.
I saw it when I was really little, and I've been trying to figure out what movie to put up against that one.
Yeah,
that's the one that has me hung up. Like,
Hmm.
I know what to do with
Home on the Range.
it. That's awesome. Home on the Range.
Tough one. And I'd have to rewatch it because it's been such a long time since I've seen that one.
Totally. Oh, are we counting votes?
Let's go ahead.
Okay, so Stacy Rogers, Dory.
This is Dory.
Road Trip Dave going with Nemo.
Ooh.
Russ and Rachel going with Dory. Kay Atwood going with Nemo. Pam Span going with Dory.
Interesting.
Nemo wins every time for me, says Cargo. Dory for Perfectly Cat. Nemo for AJC Magic TV. D just made the ocean in the chat. See those waves? That's hilarious. I love how Dana goes with D and I go with D because sometimes that chat would go. Yes, totally. Okay. Do you see any more votes? Welcome in, Samantha.
Hey, Samantha.
I might just think of something.
Emperor's New Groove versus Atlantis suggests Russ.
Yeah, I just did Atlantis
and
versus
Treasure Planet.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Jack going with Nemo. What's the score update?
So we've got 5 for Nemo and 6
for
for Finding Dory.
Wow.
And that's without any of our votes.
Of course.
And did we say hey to Jim from More Sunshine, please?
No, I was gone. I think he came in
I
right
think
when
he just came in. Yeah, so
when I left.
welcome, Jim. Thanks for coming in. All right. So if you throw our votes in there, how were you guys going to go on that?
I'm going Nemo.
Nemo.
Yeah.
What do you do, Melissa?
Nemo.
I was just looking back because this is totally unrelated too, but you're asking about other movies, and I went back because I couldn't remember which movie you paired Coco against. And now that I've seen Coco, I want to do it all over again. Me too. I loved Coco. Isn't that funny? I'm like, wait a
Was
second.
Coco against Brave?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't even really remember, but I had nothing to go by then, and now I'm like, oh, I want to do it again.
Yeah. That's actually that's gonna be my plan probably for next year is having the losers go against each other and the winners go against each other.
Dougie and I in a chat in a stream recently were going back and forth. He was heartbroken, but see, and this is why I kind of like the way Dee does these, because Brave in this kind of format I think can do well.
Yeah.
Right.
Because its pieces are good. I just don't think it's a very good movie. But it has really neat animation, and it has some songs, and so when you break it up into parts, it's kind of a competitive film in that way. But the whole isn't, I don't think, very good.
You're talking to like Brave fans over there, though.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I do like Brave, but I think I would probably totally change the way that I vote.
Oh, it's so
Because
funny.
I'm like, really enjoyed Coco. Really a lot. I want to watch it again.
So which one would you go for, Finding Nemo or Dory?
I'm gonna go with I have one of it less.
Okay. So it's your turn now. 8 for Nemo and 7 for Dory.
Don't do it, T.
Yeah, when
You didn't
says
mean-
Miguel, those are fighting words. Everybody always gets mad at me when I
know.
when I clear the obvious when I state the obvious fact that
I
Brave was
get
not a
that
very
too,
good
by
Yeah,
the way.
I was just gonna say, I totally relate to that. He's always giving a hard time.
Miguel has some harsh opinions out there.
No,
I mean, he even
I
goes
know.
against my Tangled movie.
I didn't
So
go
it's not
against
terrible.
it. I
You
didn't-
thought it
it's
was
a
terrible.
good movie. It's a
I
good
love
movie.
Tangled too.
It's just an overrated
I
movie.
think your opinion was terrible.
Oh no, you can't.
All right.
That's it.
Okay, so we're just waiting on you. Everybody's gone.
Oh, y'all have voted already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, look. Oh, no. All right, I'm gonna have to go with Nemo.
There we go. All right.
I'm gonna have to go with Nemo. I'm just gonna have to
So Nemo gets the clean sweep, 5 out of 5 categories.
Has that happened before?
I don't know that it has.
Has that happened before?
I
Has
don't
that
think
happened
it-
before? I don't know that it
I
has.
think there's always been at least one.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
been
there's
one.
always
that
been
the other-
one.
Yeah.
So, and I was worried that could happen because I think Finding Nemo's a pretty good movie. I mean, I think Finding Dory's a pretty good movie. I really like Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
And because one's the original and one's a sequel, the comparisons are so tight
Yes.
that I think you run the risk of that happening. But some of the votes were close.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
true.
all right, Miguel, I agree with you with Elsa, but not Brave. Okay, then we at least agree about the more important things in life.
That's fine.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us, everyone in the chat, and Mouse Talk. Thank you so much for being here with us, Walt and Melissa. Next week, we will be doing Lady and the Tramp versus Fox and the Hound. So that'll be interesting.
Disney duos.
I haven't seen Found in forever. I'm gonna have to
I
rewatch.
know. I'm excited to rewatch that one.
I don't know if I can handle watching Fox and the Hound.
I'm gonna make Alex.
I've
watch
seen it before as a kid. It
It's
always made me
rough.
very
It's rough.
emotional, and as an adult, I've
great.
gotten more emotional. So I don't think it's gonna be fun.
As an adult, I've gotten more emotional.
I haven't seen that movie for over like 35 years. So
And she's only
So
36.
I was gonna say, so she saw it when she was 1. So
right, I wish.
She was one.
So,
That's amazing.
I was 20 35 years ago.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us. We will see you guys on Sunday for Trivia Night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as always, life is a prize.
live every month.
He forgets everything.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for being here.